Echo 5, do you copy? Echo 5.
Echo 2, good morning. Nice of you to drop by.
Feeling alright, sir? Thought we lost you.
Right now, I feel like I can take on this whole podcast myself.
I know what you mean. Ready to send that transmission to Echo Base?
Yes, sir. R10, patch through.
Hey guys, welcome to another transmission from Hoth. This is Echo 2.
And this is Echo 5.
Alright guys, so the most recent episode that just came out was titled The Tragedy, and it was directed by Robert Rodriguez. So, this episode, oh man, every episode this season just seems really cool.
Yeah, I just feel like they're
All
getting
of
better.
all of them have their own thing. Like, I can't really say they've been better than the previous one. They've just had different things that got me excited on each one. And as we all know, this one had a huge fanfare. So overall, what did you think of this episode?
It's arguably my favorite, which is crazy because so episode 3 came out. That was my favorite of the season. I loved episode 1. Episode 2, I heard a lot of people that didn't like it. I actually really enjoyed episode 2. I've probably seen it like 4 or 5 times because my son, for some strange reason, loves that one, the Ice Spider episode.
Yeah.
And the third one is actually was my favorite episode probably of the entire series at the point, because I was so excited about Bo-Katan. And then the fourth was a lot of fun. The fifth was with Ahsoka was then my favorite. But then this one, it's not as deep with dialogue and story as the Ahsoka episode was, but just the action had me at the edge of my seat, and just the whole situation of all these chain reactions that happened in the episode, from them going to the Seer Stone and then Boba Fett just showing up. You're like, holy crap, there's a slave one. Just all these things were happening. The stormtroopers show up, then they're fight. Well, actually, Boba Fett wants his armor and saying classic lines like, I'm just a simple man trying to make my way in the galaxy. Like his father saying, I'm a simple man trying to make my way in the universe. And then the stormtroopers show up and they decide to team up and fight the stormtroopers. Just a lot of craziness happening, and then just all the other things that we'll talk about in this episode. I don't know, and it was just like thing after thing, event after event that just got me totally engaged. I was laughing out loud. I was watching this with my wife, and I was just laughing out loud because I was having so much fun. I was just having a blast, man.
Yeah, like the moment it starts, I just thought it was funny. Like he's just sitting in the cockpit and he's like, Grogu, and then Grogu just looks up at him. He's just in there just like ecstatic that he knows the kid's name, and the kid's just like, all right, yes, you know my name, good job.
Well, it was fun because people, and it's almost like the filmmakers, the directors who are making this movie kind of obviously
TV
saw
show.
the episode. Yeah, I'm sorry, a TV show. Okay, whatever. They obviously saw the episode before and liked the reaction of Grogu when he said his name. So it's funny because after people saw this episode, I would talk to people about the episode, and they would mention how cute or how funny it was when Grogu would react to his name. And then this episode starts, and they're totally playing with it. It's like they knew people had to like that, you know. And obviously,
exactly.
The episodes hadn't been released yet, so people hadn't seen them. But it's almost like they pretty much seemed like they predicted that reaction, because he was just totally toying with it, and he was having fun. Grogu, and then Grogu, and he just kept saying his name. I thought it was awesome.
I also thought it was cool that he was trying to like take his training upon him. He's like, all right, well, while you're with me, we'll have you practice a few tricks. She's like, there's no way I can actually train you, but I'm just gonna do what Ahsoka was doing with you.
Yeah,
I thought that was just hilarious.
When he had that kind of proud dad moment thing going on again, where he was all excited about it.
Yeah, dang Ferrick. And he's like, oh no, I'm not mad.
So Dink Ferrick, that's something I noticed they keep saying throughout the series.
Yeah, it's kind of like, think of it like when Zeb was in Rebels. What was it?
Carabast.
Carbast. Yeah, it's kind of like the same thing. It's like another
slang
curse word and that they use whenever they're upset or something. And so
it's
that's
kind of
why
it's kind of
Grogu's
funny.
like,
It's a double word. It's like it's like a 2-word phrase.
yeah, no, I'm gonna start using it every day.
Dang fair.
This is the way, and dang fair.
Carabast.
But yeah, it's cool how they come up with like their own little like ways of showing their anger.
Yeah,
Just like how
no,
we curse in our language. It's like, well, they've got these ones.
it's all family friendly, of course.
Yeah. So I didn't really expect them to get into Tython so quick. I actually
Yeah,
did. I was expecting maybe
side story for sure.
towards the middle of the episode, but not that quick.
Well, I think it's obvious now that we've seen this, that the grand situation, the main situation is upon us. The last couple episodes, it's gonna be pretty. It's gonna be pretty intense. It's like the what's the think of the Avengers, but the Guardians of the Galaxy of Star Wars. They're all kind of banding together. You know, I guess you'd say it's like the Avengers assembling. You get all the Boba Fett and Fennec and um, or Sarek. Did I say Fennec? Sarek. Senec?
No, it is Fennec.
Fennec.
Isn't her name Fennec?
I'm pretty sure it's. I'm like going crazy. It's like a Fennec or Senec. It's Fennec. Fennec sounds more right.
Yeah,
Senec
it is.
sounds.
It is
Senec
Fennec. It's
sounds stupid.
Fennec.
Okay, Senec sounds stupid. It's Fennec for sure. That rolls off the tongue better. So, anyways, they're all gathering together and about to go take on the big boss man. I think it's totally thrilling, man. It's awesome. There's a lot to look forward to. I'm excited they still have 2 episodes, but I guarantee you Bo-Katan's gonna show up with her little crew. What do you think, man?
I don't know. That's I have.
What about Ahsoka?
I mean, Moff Gideon's. I don't know about Ahsoka, but
She think she's
I have
done
a
for the
feeling
season?
at least Bo-Katan, because Moff Gideon's there and the
Yeah,
Darksaber's there,
sure.
and so that's the only thing that I would see that would draw her to the final battle.
Well, and we're not really
Ahsoka, I
following.
don't think we'll see her again.
Well, we're not following Ahsoka. Ahsoka's asking about Thrawn, and I know that could
Yeah,
be a hint to the possible. Aren't they talking about a possible series, like side series, or is that just more rumor?
I think that's a little bit more rumor
Okay.
at this point. I mean, I wouldn't
Well,
just be disappointed to see it, but I'm wondering if Thrawn's going to have a bigger role in this entire series, maybe getting answers to him.
or what if they take Gideon out at the end of this one and Thrawn becomes the villain?
Which would be kind of cool.
But he's already been the villain in Rebels, so maybe it'll be
Yeah.
kind of repetitive. What if? What if at the end? I feel like regardless what happens, I feel like we're gonna have this conflict that of you're gonna have this group, the Boba Fett and Fennec and Din Djarin and of course Boba Katan will somehow come in, probably in the next episode. Hopefully, they'll be fighting Moff Gideon. I feel like in the last episode, in the 8th episode, is when we're gonna see the Jedi that Grogu was communicating or calling, or when he was
Reaching out to, yeah.
when he was reaching out to. Yeah, when he was on the Seer Stone. I mean, obviously, it didn't show us. I feel like that wasn't just there to be there. I feel like it was there for a reason. They showed that he was using the Seer Stone, and we don't get to really know about it yet. But I feel like that either that'll happen, and I don't know if the Jedi will come save the day or whatever. But maybe they'll take care of their business with Moff Gideon, and maybe at the very end
They'll go back
we'll
to
get.
Tython.
Yeah, that could be it. That could be it. I like. Like the funniest. I forget. I think it was Star Wars Sis who posted. I was really jealous because it was gold.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
that video. It shows the Seer Stones, and it's got that little GIF of John Travolta from
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I have that.
Pulp
I have that
Fiction.
little video.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's kind of like it's like the Jedi shows up and everybody's gone. Oh,
Yeah, I thought about
that's
that.
hilarious. Oh my
I was like,
gosh.
okay, the child's gone, and so
Yeah.
He's gonna show up and say, "I could have sworn someone was here."
Yeah, well, that's what. Yeah, that's totally. It's like the. It's funny we're getting all these new jokes, like last episode with the whole Grogu thing, like don't show up to the temple. They always or cross
Oh
them
yeah,
off the
new
list.
material is gonna always bring us new memes, so it's just hilarious.
Yeah, it is. And then now it's gonna be the Jedi showing up and nobody's there. Everyone's gone.
I'm really
That's
curious of
it's
who that
hilarious.
Jedi is. A lot of our followers keep asking, like, who's the Jedi going to be? A lot of people
Yeah, that's one of
want
the
it to be Cal
questions someone was
Kestis, or they
asking.
want it to be Ezra,
Sure.
or honestly, I
I
don't think it'd be either.
well, what? Okay, so what if Ahsoka goes off to find Thrawn and it's just kind of a background thing we don't even see at all? And what if she brings back Ezra at the very end of the 8th episode, and everybody's like freaking
That'd be
out, and they both freaking show up and kick ass? That would be insane.
that'd be
I don't think
interesting.
they'll do it. I feel like it's too much to cram in. But holy crap, how epic would that ending be? They just. So what if Moff Gideon just kicks their trash? Bo-Katan comes in. Bo-Katan gets killed. Um, Din
Oh,
Djarin
you think
takes.
Bo-Katan's going to die?
I'm just throwing some out there, and then Din Djarin
Okay.
comes in, and he's fighting Moff Gideon, and Moff Gideon's got the upper hand. He's just too strong, and freaking Ahsoka and Ezra Bridger show up at the end, and then he's just like, "Oh crap!" And it's just like this. I don't know. Who knows? A lot of possibilities. Or what if the Jedi that he's calling? What if the Jedi that he's calling is simply? What if it's Ahsoka? What if she says, "No, I'm not going to train and whatever," and then she goes, "Go to the Seer Stone, and a Jedi will connect with you." And what if the Force calls Ahsoka and says, "No, you are the one who's supposed to train Grogu"?
That would be interesting. You'd kind of like explain why he's not around during the sequel trilogy.
Yeah, that's what I
What,
was thinking. Or it
but
could be
thinking of
Luke.
like that
Yeah,
that
sorry,
whole
go ahead.
Sears, thinking of that whole Sear Stone, what'd you think
Yeah,
of it?
it was cool. I didn't know it was going to be the way it was. That he was going to sit on it. It was going to kind of have this like force field around.
Uh,
Was that the Seer Stone or was that Grogu's power?
that was him channeling it through the Sear Stone.
Okay,
Because
it
she
was
said
really
that
cool.
there's a lot of force power that was channeled there, and so
Mm-hmm.
it kind of reminded me a little bit from
Kind of tapped into it.
Dark Forces with the Valley of the Jedi, where it's a little bit different. It's in Dark Forces, the Valley of the Jedi. Anybody can go there, and then they just stand in the center of the thing, and this beam of energy just comes up and just fills them with the Force, and so they don't become like super powerful Force users, but they're able to at least connect with the Force and use it,
Oh,
and
that
so they
seems like
became
pretty
like
much
a
what we
big pawn.
saw.
A little bit, yeah, but it was channeled by a Force user, so he wasn't really getting the Force.
Sure.
But I think it was helping him connect to the Force a little bit more.
Okay. Okay. Well,
Because as we saw at the
whoever it
end of
is,
the
man.
episode, he was like sitting there throwing the stormtroopers around like they're nothing.
Well, there's a lot of there. Yeah, that was cool. That last scene when he was just like throwing them around. He was yeah. That it's kind of crazy how he just kind of wait. He uses his power and he gets tired. And Moff Gideon just kind of waits for it to happen. He's like, all right, well now you're
I,
tired, so good try, buddy.
I think it goes on with what we discussed last episode with like it's kind of like an energy thing. Like the more you use the Force, the more it drains you. And so the
And
more
that's something
powerful
we
in the
haven't.
Force you get,
You don't get as
the more
drained.
you can use. Yeah. And
I
so
like that. I
Grogu
like that
being so
idea.
small,
Uh-huh.
can't channel it as much without getting drained.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I
I mean,
think
we
that's gonna be
know.
like a new lore thing.
Huh. Yeah, because every project seems to bring something new. They always try to bring something new,
Mm-hmm.
like lights, like hyperspace skipping, or whatever.
Yeah, that was
I was
interesting for sure.
well, I was curious. About I was talking to my it's kind of random. I was talking to my brother about he was reading I believe it was the Thrawn series. It basically says that you can't go into light speed until you are outside of the planet's gravity pull. So
Right.
I was telling him how it's kind of interesting how they just did like the lightsaber. It's like that convenient hyperspace skipping thing in the sequel trilogy. They just like in a planet, in a planet, in a planet. Just
And then Han Solo kind of does it, and he's like, "I don't ask that question
until
until
yeah,
after."
yeah. That was yeah. I don't know. Yeah. But then again, but we were talking about, well, that is the future. So I mean, that's
Yeah,
easily you could just use that as an excuse. Hey, it's the future. They got more technology. All right,
but it
cool.
is cool that each project does bring in something new,
Yeah.
whether we like it or not. But
Yeah,
I
no, it
like it.
is.
I like a lot of the cool lore that's been coming out.
Yeah, no, me too. It's
I
good.
just thought it was I just thought it was funny. It's like he sets a kid up on the little thing, and then Mando's like, "All right, does this look Jedi to you?" And then he turns on
Yeah.
his little scanner, and he's trying to figure out how to use it. It's like, Mando, it's not. That's not how the Force works. You can't just
Yeah.
turn it on with a switch.
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
But I
That's
think the
not how
coolest
the
thing,
Force
as soon as I saw that Slave One, though, I was like, "Oh crap, he's in trouble."
Yeah, well, it was just that also after the first episode, everybody was asking, "Is the Slave One out there? What happened to Slave One? Why is it just kind of walking around?" They still didn't really explain it. Maybe he'll say more lines about maybe what happened after the Sarlacc pit, but he basically just said, "I got abandoned," and he's got the ship. So just wondering, I'm a little confused still about why Cod Vanth had the armor and he didn't just go take it from him, because he's clearly strong enough to just say, "All right, punk, give me my armor." Why does he have to go through all the effort of tracking uh, Mando across the galaxy to get his armor back when it was right there on Tatooine all along with some guy who's a lot weaker than Din Djarin, I
Yeah,
didn't really understand that, but I
I'm
don't know.
sure they'll give some backstory on that,
Or
and at some point,
maybe he respected Cobb Vanth and what he was doing, or I don't know. I'm sure there's probably something to it. But
it could
I
be
thought
it
it
could
was
be
interesting. It's
something
like
simple as that. It's like, okay, well, Cobb Vanth is using it for a good reason, so I'm not
to
going to take it
let him
from him.
use it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then Mando's like, "Nope, I'm taking that armor. I don't care if
So
your people
Boba,
survive or not.
so maybe
This armor
Boba Fett
belongs
was
to
kind
me."
of watching. Maybe Boba Fett was watching over Cobb Vanth.
Could be. Maybe at times he helped. Could have been like an Obi-Wan figure to how he was to Luke.
Just kind of
Boba
like a
Fett was
type
probably
of
doing the same thing to Cobb Vanth.
yeah.
You never know. I like some of the cool parallels and some of the speculation that comes out of it, but you never know.
Holy crap, though, man! Boba Fett was beyond cool with that gaffy stick.
Dude, yes. That's like the meat of the episode. It's just Boba Fett. I don't
Just
think I need to say
whacking
anything more about this episode. It's
stormtroopers.
just Boba Fett.
Oh gosh, man, just annihilating storm, just whacking them in the face, and their helmet just shatters. Oh my
Dude, and then
gosh.
that one shot when he knocks the stormtrooper down and he just lifts the gaffy stick and just stabs right into his chest.
Yeah, man. He just like and then he's got a gun. He just bam, 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 just each one shot, one kill each stormtrooper. It was insane. And then I I know we're talking more about Boba Fett in this because he's the hype of the return and all that, but Fennec was pretty freaking cool too.
No, I think they were all a pretty good trio
Yeah,
in the whole
man.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they were the whole Indiana Jones thing with the boulder. She kicks the boulder down, it goes rolling through the stormtroopers. I'm just like, I was just having a good time this whole episode. It was just fun, man.
All right. So I thought all of that was fun, exciting. It was enjoyable, but
Uh-huh.
at the same time, I thought the whole thing was super cheesy. It's like like part of me would just want to, oh man, this is just the way this is shot. It just looks terrible.
like
Like
a
a lot of
like
people are saying that it looks like a fan
like a fan
film,
film. Yeah, I think it's
and
because like something about the environment. Is it just me like the environment? It looks like a place like somewhere near a house. We just go out and go hiking, like just kind of
it
wandering
almost looks like
around.
was it Sycamore Canyon where we hike at?
It does. It looked like Sycamore
That's what
Canyon.
it
Or even
reminded me of.
it actually it reminded me a lot of Box Springs Mountain,
Oh
like
yeah, Box
with
Springs.
the boulders and yeah, you're right, Sycamore Canyon too. Yeah, with the boulders and like the weeds, and it looked
And
like a very like Southern California. I'm sure it was probably filmed somewhere in Southern California, just
oh
like
yeah, this place
some
it's been
random
filmed all over the
field, man.
place.
Yeah.
And then it was like a bright blue, cloudy sky, so
Hmm.
it just looked too clean.
To be like a different planet.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I enjoyed the whole thing, but I'm not gonna let something.
Some of the cinematography, I
Yeah, kind of bugged.
cinematography. I can't even say that word.
And the other thing that bugged me was it felt like it was a video game. It's like, okay, one transport lands, 10 stormtroopers come out to kill them all,
Take them
then
all out.
10 more stormtroopers come out of the same
Oh, I
transport,
see what you're
then
saying.
they
Yeah,
die, and then another
like
transport comes down. It's like
taking it to the next
send.
level.
I'm like, this is the Empire. They're supposed to be a little bit more organized. Drop two transports at the same time, and all of them come out.
That was kind of weird. It's like Moff Gideon just kind of set those stormtroopers to die. It's like, okay, well, you're gonna go first. They're probably gonna kill you. Let's send another one. If they don't work, we'll just send the dark troopers. But the whole time the Dark Troopers are the main unit that we're going to send against them. But let's just send some stormtroopers first, see how they do, and if they don't do
I
too
don't really
well, we'll
think
send
it's
these
that. I
Dark
think
Troopers
all
in.
in all, they were just a distraction. Because like when we
Yeah.
get to Gideon's part, he's like, "Have you deployed the Dark Troopers?" They're like, "No." He's like, "All right, do it."
Yeah.
And so I think that was
But
the plan the whole time. And then Mando gets knocked out like through half of the battle,
yeah,
and then he comes like towards the end.
I knew. So they blew up his ship. So it's going to be kind of crazy. He's going to be
Oh
traveling with
yeah, I
the
forgot about
Slave One now,
that.
which is cool. It's going to be cool. He's traveling with Slave One now because we'll get to see more of the inside of the Slave One. I'm sure we haven't
Yeah.
really seen. We've only seen the cockpit in
Hmm.
Attack of the Clones. We hadn't even
Yeah.
seen. Oh, we saw it in Empire too, but we
We saw it
saw
in Empire, and we've seen it. I believe. Maybe he didn't have any Clone Wars.
just
I thought
Attack
it
of the
was.
Clones.
Yeah, I could.
You might actually. You do see it in Clone Wars when Boba Fett's riding with Aurra Singh and
Yeah, that's right.
yeah,
Hmm.
he kind of gets together with the little group and they yeah. But in like the live action, the only movie we've seen it in Empire and Attack of the Clones so far,
Yeah,
and now well we
put
technically
him in the
oh
cargo hold.
yeah put Captain Solo in the cargo hold. What if he's alive? It it was cool to see his mask and him talking with his voice because they redid his voice in Empire Strikes Back when they did the Blu-ray release.
They did, yeah.
They added his voice. They had that other. I'm not sure who voiced him before. I know Jeremy Bulloch obviously plays the character, but I'm not sure who voiced him originally before Tamara Morrison.
I think it was Jeremy Bullock.
Oh, was it?
Oh wait, no. Someone else did. It was another character in the
I
Star Wars.
I really liked that first voice. Honestly, he was like, "What if he's alive? He's worth a lot to me." Like he had that real sinister
Yeah.
voice. And then they changed it to Tamara Morrison, and he's like, "What if he's alive? He's worth a lot to me." You're like, he's like New Zealand
Yeah, his name
accent.
was Jason Windgreen. He was the original
Jason
voiceover
Windgren. That sounds
for
familiar.
Boba
Okay,
Fett.
gotcha. Okay, well, it was cool nonetheless to see him with the mask on, hear his voice, and it still was nostalgic because you know clones and
I
all that.
Yeah, I liked a
Jango Fett.
lot of the things that they did with Boba Fett, like a lot of the parallels that they did with Jango.
Did you expect to see? I did not expect to see him in this episode.
I
I was
honestly
stoked.
didn't, as we discussed last episode. I actually wasn't expecting to see him
I
at
did
all.
not expect to see. It looks like we're gonna get some type of super team up
Yeah, I
with
know.
like.
One of the questions in our on our Instagram was who would win, Cad Bane and Bosk or Boba Fett and Mando. I was like,
Oh, that's good.
after seeing this episode,
Boba
I'm
Fett
like,
and Mando, dude.
yeah, I think they're a solid team up because they're gonna have Fennec
Oh,
right behind them.
I mean, so a friend at work was telling me he goes it's kind of cheesy when I'm watching. He goes I'm loving this Mando show, but he goes it's kind of cheesy because it's like they literally look at every character that like out there that fans like and like let's get this guy in here, let's get this guy in here, let's throw this guy in there, but like who cares? It's so much fun. It's again it's going back. It's kind of like the Avengers. We get we have our Captain America and Hulk and Thor and all these cool guys, and you finally get to see them together and see them all fight together and it's just amazing to see them together with their different styles. And
Yeah,
how cool is it going to be to see Boba Fett and Din Djarin fighting together with Bo-Katan and then the rest of the group, and then hopefully I don't know about Ahsoka if she'll show up or what they're going to do with her,
it
but
is like an
yeah,
Avengers team up.
it is. That's what I'm saying. But it's just going to be. It's so entertaining to see them. It's going to be super entertaining to see them fight together because of what we saw in this episode. It's kind of like a tease. I feel like for
because
what we're going to see.
they're gonna go
Oh
get
man.
they're gonna go break out their version of Hawkeye out of prison, the sharpshooter.
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah, you're right. Oh gosh, here we go. Yeah, they're.
um,
well,
yeah, I was actually talking to one of my buddy Logan. I was asking him like, how are you liking the season so far? And he's like, I just feel like there's a bunch of like fanfare, and I was like I started thinking about it, and you talking to a guy at work, kind of like the same thing. It's like it is a lot of just like, all right, who do they like? Who do they like?
you're like a
Just
sucker.
bring
Let's get
in.
her in there. Boba Fett. Let's get him in there. Ezra.
But I'm
Let's
not
get
gonna
Ezra in there.
lie. They're doing a good job tying them in.
They are.
But
Yeah,
my
I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining at all. It
but
is
my
funny though.
issue is I don't want them to take away from the magic that was part of the first season of Mandalorian. I don't want
Yeah.
it to get too diluted with bringing in all this
Well,
fanfare and new story arcs that have. Well, I mean,
I'm
obviously it's
I'm
gonna have something to do with
actually
Mando, but
I'm actually enjoying. I'm personally enjoying this season more than the first season so far.
oh yeah,
I've liked every single episode of the season. I've enjoyed all of it. The first season had a couple episodes that were kind of duds for me, but that's just my opinion. I
maybe when
love.
we go back and watch them, maybe you'll have a different opinion.
That's what I'm thinking. I want to go. I've gone back and watched 1 through 3 because I love the first 3 episodes probably the most in the first season. I think that was my problem though with the first season is it almost felt like the main arc, the point of the story, started and finished in 3 episodes, and then
Yeah.
he just kind of continued, and they're like, all right, now we gotta. Well, I guess Moff Gideon was always out there. There was always that threat out there, and
Well,
there
I
was
mean, when we jump back into the first season and we go over it, I've always seen it as kind of like just story build up.
yeah.
Like it has
Well, and
one
they
whole
got to get
story with
characters in
individual
there, and
missions.
yeah, and we talked about it before, like how even the 4th episode, I said I wasn't a big fan of it, but it was a way to get Cara Dune introduced and
Yeah.
show how strong she is, and then and kind of give they went, and then of course they carried on later on to get Grief Karga a way to redeem himself and join the
Hmm.
group, and so I mean I understand all that. I actually loved the heck out of the last 2 episodes too of the first season. The end
Yeah.
of it was really good. It was with the nurse Quill turned the IG bounty hunter into the to the nurse. That was super cool. He was just
Yeah.
going crazy on all the stormtroopers. One quick thing I want to note before we forget is one thing I've always wanted to see, and I think I'm going to see it in Mandalorian, and I've never seen it in these movies. Is I always wanted to see a Jedi versus stormtroopers. I always wanted to see a Jedi fighting real people in real armor, and we kind of got that with Ahsoka,
Hmm.
and we kind of got that with Luke Skywalker on the sail barge. In the prequels, we get just a bunch of droids that they're fighting,
And
and
in
then
the
there's a little
sequels, we get
scene
Finn stabbing a stormtrooper through the chest.
that was a lot of fun. I actually enjoyed the I love that little scene, the Battle of Tokodana on
Yeah.
Tokodana on Force Awakens. That was probably my favorite scene in the whole movie. But the in just like I've always wanted to see a Jedi kind of going through some type of corridor, trying to, I don't know, rescuing or whatever he's trying to do, and stormtroopers just kind of shooting and firing, and he's just deflecting bullets and chopping them up. I always wanted to see that, and I feel like we might get to see that with Ahsoka.
If
Probably not,
anything,
but
I,
oh man,
if anything,
I
I
just think it'd
think
be
that might
cool.
happen next season.
Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right. And we saw how cool she was when she was fighting those the guards of the magistrate
Yeah.
on okay Corvon
Caladan.
Corvon
Yeah, Corvus on in the city of
Corvus
Caladan.
Corvus on the city of Caladan. I always mixed up Caladan and Corvus, and one's the planet, one's the city. But yeah, no, we saw that. We kind of got that tease there. I just want to see her chopping up stormtroopers, fighting stormtroopers, because
We might get
it
it with
just
the
looked
new
really
Jedi.
cool. Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right for sure.
Because right
Yeah,
now we're
Ezra with
getting
his gun.
the little team up with Boba Fett, Mando, and Fennec, which I don't know if any of you guys noticed. It was kind of like a little tribute to Django with his Mademoiselle, and so it's kind of cool to see Boba has his own sharpshooter
It's funny.
assistant,
I always pronounce it Zam Wessel.
Zam
Zam
Wessel.
Wessel. Yeah. So, like, man, which one's the correct pronunciation here? I actually, I'll keep going. I'm looking at my Attack of the Clones figures here.
Oh no, you're fine.
Seeing how it's spelled.
It's Wessel. That's why I call it
Yeah,
Wazelle.
Wessel.
Um,
Oh, there she is. Yeah, Zam Wessel. I thought it was Zam Wessel, but I might be wrong. Zam Wessel. Zam
but I
Wessel.
really like the whole standoff that he had. He's like Boba Fett like shows up. He's like, "You have my armor," and he's like, "I don't want your armor. I want my armor." He's like,
Yeah,
"All right, well, it belongs with the Mandalorians." He's like, and so then Mando pulls out his gun. And he's like, "I got a sharpshooter," and he's like, "I'll have you both done." He's like, "It's not aimed at you."
that's aimed at the child.
And she's like, and then I liked her introduction. She's like, "And as you know, I don't miss." And he's like, "What?" I was surprised to see Fennec alive. Like I had a feeling she was going to stay alive with that whole end credit scene in the first season.
Yeah, that was cool to see how they connected that scene. By the way, where
Yeah,
you saw that mysterious figure walk up to Fennec when she was down. It's
and
cool to see that
everybody
it really
predicted
was.
it was going to be Boba Fett.
Yeah, and
And at
they
that
were
time,
actually right.
John Favreau was like, "Oh, Boba Fett's not going to make an appearance in the show." And
It's funny how they do it.
what a return does he have? I've never really been a big fan of Boba Fett. I thought he looked cool.
I actually haven't.
Because
I haven't either. I'm with Windows on Fanboys, man. Where he's
yeah.
he's like
Ooh, he's
he's
got
like
a
the Rockets.
jetpack. So does the Rocketeer.
Really cool. You dissed the Fed again. I'll cornhole you with the lightsaber. Yeah,
I mean,
no.
don't get me wrong. Boba Fett is cool. I get why he's
He
feared.
looks cool.
They
He looks
built
cool. I thought it was cool that he tracked the Falcon on Empire, but he was just this big deal, and everybody's like, "Oh, I'm a big fan of Boba Fett." And they had him show up again in Attack Clones as a kid. It's like this guy's he's cool, I guess, but Jango Fett's way cooler. I mean,
yeah.
Jango Fett does all kinds of awesome crap. You know what I mean? And then we see Mando, and I was like, dude, this guy's even cooler. Mando's freaking incredible. And then all of a sudden, Boba Fett, he's like, this is the real deal right here.
Yeah. And she's like, then once he got the armor on, I was like, all right, Boba's back.
Yeah, and he's back, and he's freaking cooler than ever, man.
Yeah, they did a really good job on just his whole finesse of and showing how well he knows his armor. It's like, yeah, it's been a few years, but I still got it.
I like how he has honor too. He's not just badass; he had honor. He owes
That's true.
the debt. And he's like, I'm
All
going to
he
help you
wanted
find
was
the
his
kid.
armor, and he's like, I
Yep.
could kill you, take the kid, because I could buy 10 suits of armor for the price of Grogu. But
yeah, but honor's more important.
I just want my armor.
That's
all I'm asking.
that made him that much cooler. I was like, man, this guy's just cool. This guy's
And
freaking awesome.
as I keep telling people, because I was talking to another coworker, and he's like, oh, I feel like Boba Fett's gonna betray him. I'm like, okay, well, I don't really see any point to Boba Fett betraying him. One,
No.
the Empire or Moff Gideon already has Grogu, so what's he gonna betray him on? Why would he come along with him, help him rescue him, just to betray him and return the child? Yeah. Moff Gideon has no interest in Mando. Doesn't care about him. He's got what he wants. Has an army to back him up. So why is he afraid of Mando? He's not, especially since he blew up the Razor Crest. Two, if you watch Clone Wars, Boba Fett is taught nothing but honor. Like, he had that vendetta against Mace Windu for the longest time, and then he finally comes into contact with the Asajj Ventress and Hondo. Both of them give him like advice and kind of help build up his honor code.
Yeah.
And
yeah, exactly.
So Boba Fett overall is good. Even in Legends, Boba Fett teams up with what's his face, Han Solo, and ends up training his daughter Jaina on how to fight. And so Boba becomes more like a friend. I guess
almost like he kind of reminds me of Mando, honestly.
Yeah, because he follows the Mandalorian code.
Yeah,
like it's an honor system.
Which by the way, is really cool to see, because when I was watching it, I always thought I knew a decent amount about Star Wars, and then when I was watching it with my wife, she was asking me about Boba Fett, saying, "Hey, is he a real Mandalorian?" And then we started talking about it, and she's like, "Oh wait, no, I remember he's Jango's clone, and he didn't have the growth acceleration, and blah blah blah." And then she was like, "Well, was Mandalorian a real Mandalorian?" And then I kind of stopped, like, I don't
not now.
I don't know. I didn't know. I was like, Django. You know what I mean? I was like, I don't know if Django is. And then of course they answered it in this episode, and I was like, man, was that knowledge before? Or did they add that for this show?
Well, I mean, they kind of give us kind of a vague answer in Clone Wars, with Obi-Wan talking about Django down on Mandalore. They're like, oh, he's just a guy that stole Mandalorian armor. He's not one of us. Yeah. And so it's like, okay, maybe he's not a Mandalorian. And then in this episode, we get a little bit backstory. It's like, oh yeah, he's a foundling just like you.
He's a foundling just like you, yeah.
And he fought in the Mandalorian Wars.
Yeah.
So Mando's like, okay, all right, that makes him Mandalorian. And he was actually shows the whole code.
Well, he was born on Concord Dawn, that planet that looks like it's pretty much a third of it's destroyed.
Yeah, because who was it? Someone on Instagram posted they decrypted all that writing that he showed Mando to prove that.
Yeah.
I and it actually said Concord Dawn on it.
Yeah, he was born in Concord Dawn, and yeah, he basically was raised a foundling, and he fought in the wars, and then he became a notorious warrior, and then he ended up getting into the bounty hunting business, and then of course got connected with the cloners, and kind of the rest is history.
Yeah, so it's
pretty straightforward background. But I didn't know he was an actual Mandalorian. I thought that was really cool to get that information.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They give it so like even though this wasn't really story driven, it still give us some lore that we can take out of it, which was really cool.
Oh yeah, no, it was great, man. It's good times. I love that scene, that shot where he's just flying straight up. He's going after the Dark Troopers, and then he sees the ship, and he's like, "Oh man!" He's like, "The Empire's back." And then Fennec's like, that's not possible. That's And he's like, no. And he's like, I'm looking right at it with my own eyes.
Yeah,
Like they're back. That was
they're
crazy.
back. They're back.
Yeah, that was nuts, man. Anyway, and then of course he goes back to Navarro, recruits Cara Dune, and Cara Dune's now a marshal of the New Republic.
Yeah, no, I thought that was funny. So they kind of explained what that little thing was, and
A little
people were
badge.
like, "How much time has passed
Yeah.
for her to make such a change so quickly?"
like I said, the Ahsoka thing could happen. She could go out and find that Jedi right now, because
Yeah,
they mentioned the whole Thrawn thing. She could return with Ezra. Who knows? Who knows? We'll find out in 2 episodes.
maybe. And
Probably
honestly,
not, but
I'm hoping not. As
you're
much as
gonna.
I
I'm
want to
telling
see
you,
it, I'm
they're
hoping
gonna
not.
assemble, bro. This be this nutty episode with all this crazy, different, awesome people fighting together against Moff Gideon, and somehow Moff Gideon's just gonna be like strong enough, I guess, to fight him. I don't know whether.
I don't know. It's gonna
I
be
feel like he
interesting.
can't. I feel like he's not. There's no way that guy would be good enough to fight Ahsoka and Ezra. I mean, that'd just be. I think that'd be a little over the top. He's not.
Yeah,
He's cool, but he's not that cool.
and what's his name? Giancarlo Esposito. He mentioned that Moff Gideon's gonna be around for at least till seasons 3 and 4.
Okay, so he
So
ain't going
a lot of
anywhere.
people are talking about him dying. I'm like, based off that information, I don't know if that's a spoiler, but I mean, the actor is telling us to expect us to have more answers and have him around a little bit longer. So I'm not
What
expecting to see Thrawn as the main villain.
What if? Well, obviously, so in the wreckage of the Razor Crest, you kind of could predict that he was going to find the ball and the spear. You're like, okay, he's going to find the little ball,
I
and
actually
then I'm
wasn't
like,
expecting to see the ball. I knew the spear for sure, and
well,
I
I was
saw
like, oh, well, once he
the.
found the ball, I was like, all right, here's the spear. The spear's next, and then he digs in the ashes, and there's the spear. Well, because he's going to have to fight Moff Gideon with it, obviously. So
Oh,
I
absolutely.
I believe that. I don't know, man. We'll see what happens. What if I don't want it to happen, but I feel like Bo-Katan could die, and what if what if Din Djarin ends up with the black saber, the dark saber?
Uh, I mean, possibly. I mean, if he does get it, he's gonna just give it to Bo-Katan. If she's not there with him, he's just
But
gonna give it to her.
what if she dies? Who would get it next?
I think he would take it to Mandalore.
What if the leader of Mandalore becomes Boba Fett? Bum bum bum. I'm just kidding. I don't know.
That'd be an interesting twist. I honestly don't think Bo-Katan's gonna die though. I think she's just gonna get the
I
blade and
really hope
then
she
go back
doesn't, because
to
she's too cool. She'll
and
just take
rebuild
off.
Mandalore. Because she
Oh
said she
man,
can't properly. She said she can't properly roll Mandalore without the dark saber. And
you know
so,
one thing, one. Yeah, yeah, you're right. She's got to have the dark saber. What one interesting thing I didn't mention. So Ahsoka's going to return. She's going to return with Ezra. And we're also going to have Sabine Wren, because obviously she goes out to find Ezra with Sabine Wren.
right.
Mind blown. I'm just kidding. It's not that. But still, I think it would be cool. I think
It would be cool, but I really don't think we're gonna see Ezra or Ahsoka. At least not this season or the next. Maybe
to
mentions
quote
of them.
to quote
I
Mr. Potato Head, I can dream, can I? No, I'm
true,
just kidding.
very true. I'm kind of curious of how they're gonna build it up for the next season though, because it seems like he's kind of building a team now, and
Yeah.
so Mando's
Oh
kind of
yeah.
got like this whole idea of being a bounty hunter, do his own things. So I'm wondering if the sharpshooter is gonna become like a main character. Um, I don't think Boba and
So,
Fennec will stay. I think they'll go off and do their own thing.
well,
But I think the new
don't forget. We're gonna have Cara Dune, Grief Karga, and I
yeah, but
guarantee.
I don't think they're gonna be regulars. I think I'm
And
talking
then
about like his actual crew.
Mithril is gonna come save the day too.
Yeah, and so I'm predicting for next season like his crew is gonna be the sharpshooter, him, Grogu,
Sure.
and maybe the Jedi will be traveling with him.
Um. Yeah. No. There's a lot. I actually think it'd be cool if they saved Sabine Wren and Ezra for season 3, honestly, just to give us something more to look forward to.
Yeah, like I said, I don't think we'll see them this season because it for 8 episodes and for what's left of the series, that's
There's
gonna
not
be
much.
too much to cram into 2 episodes. Because
Sure.
the next episode is gonna be focused mainly on him breaking into the prison, getting that guy out, convincing him to come help him.
Sure.
That's gonna be a whole episode on its own, and then the final episode is gonna be them actually raiding Moff Gideon's Star Destroyer, wherever the child's at.
Yeah.
First, actually
Well,
finding out where he's being kept, and then going.
So again, going back to it quickly, the Jedi that Grogu is communicating with, I feel like that connection, whoever it is, let's say it is Ezra, and he's more for season 3.
Yeah.
Let's just say hypothetically it's Ezra. I guarantee you it'll be one of those things that happens at the very, very end.
Oh, it's gonna be
That
the
just
final
leaves.
clip. It's
It'll
gonna
be
be
like
the
the final
cliffhanger,
clip. Oh yeah, you're gonna see him like walk up, or even Luke
and
Skywalker, whoever it is.
it's gonna
You're gonna
piss me
see
off too when I see that.
it's gonna be the final. That's what they're doing, because you have the communication. You're gonna forget about it, and they're gonna have this episode. You're gonna forget about it, and the whole next episode it's gonna be all
Just like we
dealing with
forgot
Moff
about
Gideon.
Boba.
Exactly. I totally forgot. I'm like, okay, we got Boba. Then we got excited about Bo-Katan. Then everybody completely forgot about when Ahsoka came.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he shows up again. Like, okay, he's part of it. So I feel like whoever that is gonna be more a part of the next season, and they're going to show up at the very end. That's just kind of my prediction.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking for next season the whole crew would be him, the sharpshooter, the Jedi that's gonna be training Grogu.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then running away from the Empire and all that fun jazz.
What if the Jedi's Mara Jade?
That would be an interesting one. I would not be mad. Another person was suggesting that it could be a Kyle Katarn, which I'd also not be disappointed as long as they get the right actor. Because I
Mm-hmm.
actually played the Dark Forces games and they actually had a live actor for Kyle Katarn. I thought he was legit.
Yeah, that would be.
So they'd have to bring in a really convincing replacement for him. It'd be
Would
like
it
trying to
be
recast Luke Skywalker. But I
would
know
Kyle
Kyle
Katarn be
Katarn's
played
not
by?
as
Would it be Nathan
yeah.
Fillion?
Honestly,
Firefly.
that could work, but I think he's not serious enough to play the role.
Yeah.
Kyle Katarn is very serious and stubborn.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens, man. There's a lot to look forward to.
There is a lot of fun speculation. A lot could happen,
Lock it out.
and I love making all these predictions because then as it comes, like I mentioned in previous episodes, it's cool to see if we actually like how close we are to the
Yeah.
to
And
how Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau are thinking.
we can make fun of ourselves when we're wrong. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's part of the fun of it.
Just like the whole Ahsoka thing, I thought was going to be. I got that whole thing wrong.
I got that completely wrong. I did not think that entire episode was going to be her.
Oh yeah, definitely not. I thought it was going to be a blip on the radar. So overall, I really enjoyed this episode. The cinematography looked very fan filmish. I know a lot of people are complaining about it. I didn't
still
mind
liked
it.
it. I didn't mind
Yeah, I
it.
was gonna say some of the shots bothered me, but I still liked a lot of the other shots. And this episode was just overly enjoyable. So
Yeah.
no complaints. I really did enjoy the end with Moff Gideon coming in and seeing Grogu and just letting him just mess around with stormtroopers and just like fling him around a little bit. He's like,
Yeah.
no, wait, let's just let him finish. And then he stuns
Yeah.
him. He's like, yep, you're gonna be really sleepy now. All right, stun him. And they put like little Ewok-sized
Little shackles
cuffs on
on
him or shackles, yeah. And then he's just laying there. I'm like, all right. And then they cut to the end of the episode. So overall, pretty good, very enjoyable. Can't wait for the next 2 episodes.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, it's exciting on these next episodes because, like the previous episodes, we haven't seen any footage at all. So everything, as long
Is
as you
new.
don't, yeah, as long as it's not spoiled on social media, everything is completely new. And that's one problem I've noticed myself is even if I wait and watch it the day of, is I always tend to go on Instagram and people watch it at midnight, and I always get at least one thing spoiled on every episode. So I'm gonna have to make a special effort on the last 2 episodes to not even go on social media, because I knew this episode I had seen a picture of Boba Fett, so I knew he was somehow going to show up in this episode before I saw it. And I saw it that night. I saw it the Friday night, and I was already spoiled. So I would recommend staying off Instagram completely until you watch it if you want to be completely surprised. because there's a lot of pages out there that are not going to respect the spoilers and all that good stuff. Not releasing spoilers until Monday, which is what we're trying to all follow as a group.
Yeah, exactly. And so, guys, we'll do our best to not post spoilers, but we will be posting it every Monday, even in the future with movies, anything new that comes out. We'll wait until at least the weekend is over for people to catch up,
or at
because
least
that's when the majority.
It's usually a
Yeah,
3-day rule, or unless you hit
yeah,
the weekend. Yeah, or if it's like a
yeah,
Monday after the weekend, for sure, because that's when
yeah.
most people watch it.
I was gonna say because the majority of the people watch it, and we're sorry for the minority that hasn't watched it, but
We are a Star Wars account after all.
we got to talk about it,
Yeah, we
and
do.
people are excited to talk about it with us. So we apologize in advance, but that's gonna end it for today on our transmission. Um, Catch us next week, guys, and just remember, down below in the description, go ahead and click our links. Follow us on Instagram. Go ahead and subscribe to us here. Give us a like, comment. We love to hear back from you guys. Also, check out our merch. We've got a lot of cool shirts that we know that you guys will like. I'll purchase a few of them myself, and they're actually pretty dope in person.
Yeah.
So
I got the hotspot mug right now. I'm drinking coffee with, and don't forget to always ask questions, because we like answering the questions. It kind of makes things interesting here. It's fun. It gives us a way to learn ourselves along with you.
So we'll catch you guys next week. Echo 2 out.
Echo 5 out.
May the force be with you.
Always.